What's up, everybody? It's Via again and Tina, and we are here sipping on Via Guatemala coffee and having Via Talk, conversation without limits. And I'm really excited to have one of my good friends, my dear friends, and my personal trainer. He be making me look right and tight, Dwayne Anderson. But he's not just a trainer; he also is a business owner of a gym, a Black-owned gym at that. So, cheers on that.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, okay, so introduce yourself. Tell us first, where is your gym and how long have you owned a gym? And then we'll talk more about that.
My name is Dwayne. I am the owner of Life Health and Fitness Center that is in Quincy, Massachusetts. I've been the owner of that business 15 years now.
Congratulations.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, it's 15 years of not working for anybody. A lot of pressure, but yeah.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to jump, you know me. I'm going to get right into it. So one of the reasons I really wanted to have Dwayne in this, because this is Conversation Without Limits, and I really wanted to talk to him, first of all, and you could tell me how comfortable you feel talking about it, but I know that you did some prison time, and I really wanted to talk about, one, like, for someone who just had done some prison time or someone who wants to become an entrepreneur, like what kind of adversities did you go through? Not just because you were in prison, but then like also being a Black man, right? Now, I also, and I just want to know, like, do you think that any of these things stopped you and made it harder? Or like, what did you do? And what are some guidance that you can tell, especially Black men who have done jail time? And obviously he didn't any violent crimes, so that's a good thing, you know
if I didn't.
Obviously. So, yeah. What were you in there for?
Selling drugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many years were you in prison?
In the feds, 5 years.
5 years.
What's the difference between prison and then the feds?
Yeah, what's the difference?
I mean, prison's prison, but there's federal prison, there's state prisons. Federal is like crossing over state borders and state lines. Most likely, if you
moving weight, is that what that means?
You crazy.
He wasn't a quarter boy. He was like, I'm moving state to state. I see you. Okay.
Well, I mean,
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
No. Honey, we did time.
But no, you could even be in a state, and sometimes if that state has serious issues with drugs, there may be some federal people that come there and give them federal jurisdiction.
So federal is like all state, and then prison is like one state. Federal
prison.
is like
prison is a prison.
No, state prison and then federal. So there's the feds and then there's state.
Yeah.
Okay.
State prison is like within your state, more than likely. But federal is like when you're crossing borders and doing things of that nature. Yeah.
To be clear, we're good girls, so we don't know the difference between state and feds.
I always wanted to. And I worked in a prison before. Well, corrections. Correction is prison.
Yeah.
I worked in a prison before.
Yeah, that's a prison because no, that's a jail because they're holding them. Prison is when you're doing time, I believe.
Oh,
yes.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But the feds is just like I said. They got a whole different set of rules, man. It's a different game. Hence the reason why I said, you know what, I don't care about the rules. I'm just not going to play anymore. You
were like, once you were done with the streets, you was like, nah, I'm done with this.
Yo, the feds have a 90% conviction rate. Which is crazy.
So when they say we're indicting you feds, like that's it for you basically.
Yeah, it's a wrap pretty much. You're gonna do some time.
And the percentage of Black men in prison and in jail is ridiculous.
Yeah. I was lucky in the fact that the feds have a RDAP program. It's a residential drug abuse program. And people do it even when you don't have a drug problem. Everybody wants to get in this program because
it's a rehabilitation.
Up to a year off of your sentence.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, so everybody tries to get into it. Yeah, but the dope thing about it is the amount of recidivism is in reverse. Recidivism is basically if you go to prison, more than likely you're going to go back to prison. Right.
Oh, so people who do this program don't come back. They're not the most. They have a higher rate of not coming back.
Normally, it's like 7 out of 10 people that go to prison go back to prison.
That's insane.
It's the opposite with people that do the program. Right?
Well, that's good that they have those programs.
But they should have, it should be a standard.
Oh, so they don't have them available to everyone.
No. And this is something that I'm sure like every prison system has some type of program where you can get good time or things of that nature. But the level of extensiveness that they have with this program, like, is like you're going through psychology stuff. You have to write down.
Dope.
Like it's crazy.
So they dig deep.
They dig deep, and you cannot fake it. You can't fake it.
But you know what? I was gonna say this. Like, first of all, where were you doing federal time at?
When I got.
Was it East Coast? Is that I'm asking for a reason?
Let me answer.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When I caught my case, I was out in Maine. I stayed there for like maybe a year and some change. I was in MDC Brooklyn for a minute. I was in Fairton, New Jersey, and I was in McCain, Pennsylvania.
The reason why I say this is just like you see the horror stories of Midwest and down South, the treatment. Like, and so I feel like the East Coast for some reason, or like
Midwest is like third world. Like, I mean, some spots, like in the feds, when you get to the feds, like if you get to move all the way to the camp, like you'll walk on there and be like, wait, are they playing bocce ball? These dudes are over there playing handball, bocce ball, tennis courts, baseball courts. Yeah. And another thing with the feds, like, you asked about the struggles with, like, becoming an entrepreneur and all that. Your mentality has to be your mentality.
What do you mean? Elaborate.
Before I got bagged, I owned a store.
So you was
already promoting clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, me and my circle of friends, when we were involved in the streets, we weren't doing it as a thing just to pat. We was doing that as a means to
an end
exit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when I could sit and tell you a whole long story about when I got caught up, the circumstances. But I had a store, had a recording studio, was promoting clubs and all that stuff. So I was out there, and it was a circumstance that led me back into that, because there was a point in my life where I was like, yo, I'm done. I'm not doing anything. I'm just doing this. And
now, where did you grow up? Like, what area did you live in?
Boston.
No, but there's Dorchester, Mattapan, Roxbury. Where?
Mattapan, boy.
So do you believe that due to your environment, and also too, I know this because I know you're a Mecco kid. Mm-hmm. So for those who don't know what Mecco...
Oh, Meccos. Yeah. We had those in Marblehead.
Yeah, for those who don't...
Oh, you were a Marblehead?
Yeah.
I went to Swampscott.
Okay. Yeah, they had a Mecco program. That was our
rivals, Marblehead. Yeah.
So go ahead. Why don't you tell them what Mecco is?
Mecco is just a charter program where they take kids from the inner city and they give them a better opportunity for better education out in the suburbs.
Now, how do you feel, though? Do you think it really was?
A lot of this depends on the individual, because, like, I have friends that went through Mecco and they're not me. You know, they don't move like I move.
I think it's beneficial.
It definitely can be.
Do you think it made it easier for you to assimilate, say, with... say not just white people, but like rich white people at that?
I am a beast, because you can drop me in any hood anywhere, or you can drop me inside any office and I am good. I'm comfortable. Yeah. Like, you know, so
it did it benefited you.
Absolutely. I'm comfortable dealing with anybody.
So here you are, you're a Mecco kid, you're getting bussed, you're going all the way to Swampscott, which I know in that area, very Jewish, very rich community, very like a white community at that too, right? So then you're being bussed back, and now you're coming back to Mattapan, and all you're seeing on the block is nothing but drug dealers.
I mean, when I was young, like 14, 15, like I was carrying a gun, and like the people in school out in the suburbs, it wasn't for them to know that, but like it was on in my neighborhood. Like we was beefing, like seriously. Right. So when I got off that bus late in the afternoon,
you had to be strapped.
All my friends were in Boston school. They were nowhere to be around. So from me going from wherever I got off of the bus to my house, I had my little toast on me or whatever. Yeah.
That's real. That's crazy. And you were and that was really like hardcore, like the 80s, like the crack era, right?
Early 90s. Where
so it's still happening.
Yeah, that gang culture in Boston was like super heavy. Super heavy.
Okay, so obviously, and then like, and you did grow up with a mother and father though. So, but you guys were still. Did you feel like you needed to do that because you guys didn't have enough money and you just really needed things in your life? You had dreams at a very young. Did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. My parents instilled a lot of good values in us as kids, and their push for us to be independent, get your own, that kind of led, that they didn't mean for us to be in the streets.
Right. They weren't saying go do this, but
And it's not a thing of kids in the city being bad kids.
No, of course
it's
not.
It's just the things that are readily available to you. For you to make your mistakes, where somebody out in the suburbs, they're going to make mistakes too, but there's not the same consequences. They're not gangs that are inside these different areas.
Absolutely.
There's not drugs inside these areas. So, well, I mean, there is.
Well, I went to school in Lynn, where I had a metal detector before I walked in, and we had undercover cops come in and do raids every time, and we had dogs just coming. So, and you just see all the drug dealers leaving the classes running because they had all the work on them. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of school I went to, so I get it. I 1000% get it.
Yeah, if I went to Boston Public, I don't think I would have
So you feel like the MECO program was beneficial?
For me, absolutely. Yes, it was.
I'm grateful for it because, my nephew and my nieces, they're still in Marblehead High, and they were like the only African Americans to the MECO program. That's when they met friends from Dorchester, Mattapan, High Park, and they're still friends. They sleep over, and I was so grateful that they had like a black brother, a black sister, and they'll sleep over, and it's like they get to see people like them, so it's beneficial. And they're still friends, so they all went to college.
Yeah. It's important to have that home base of identity and who you are, because what I see sometimes with going out to school in the suburbs, you can go and it's beneficial, but it can be a culture shock sometimes. And then
I was adopted by white people. Trust me, I get it.
And then you have kids that go through this identity crisis type of thing where you're like, how am I supposed to be? I'm supposed to act too black, or am I acting white? Like they don't know how to act instead of just being themselves.
Right, but it is hard because it's like you can't be Dwayne Anderson from Mattapan in Swampscott. You can't do that. You can't give them that 100. You know.
But see, that's the thing when you can identify self and I guess being knowledge of self and self-awareness, the person, like if I tell people stories about things that I did and the stuff that I did gambling up gangbang, and they're like, oh my God, that doesn't sound like you. And I'm like, it wasn't me because I was in that environment. Right. So it doesn't matter what environment, whether you're in the city or you're in the suburbs, you have to be true to yourself.
So, okay, so fast forward, you did federal time, blah, blah, blah. Now, you get out, right?
And there's a lot of fast forwarding parts, but yeah.
Well, I mean, because we can make this whole episode about your whole federal time. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying.
I never talk about this with anybody. Like, we're
talking about it with everybody now.
It's like, yeah, you went to the feds.
So this is okay. So you get out, right? Now, wait, were you able to stack some money? Like, so when you got out, were you like, damn, I got no money? You was like, I'm done with the game. Like, you get out, you're obviously like fucked up in the game, the situation. Now, did you have some money to start your capital or whatever? And what was your vision? Like, how did you fall into actually being a gym owner? And I also, too, some background on him. You're a triple black belt.
Triple black
right?
belt.
Well, I don't know how you say it.
I have a first degree black belt in Taekwondo, second degree black belt in Sundao Jiu-Jitsu, and a third degree in something called V-Jitsu.
Honey. Nice. You talking about keep making women safe. Okay, but did you have, how many of these, I guess, I don't know, levels of self-defense did you have before you went away? Were you already practicing, or did you go really hardcore afterwards?
I've practiced since I was probably like 10. But I didn't go and take... When I was doing Taekwondo, I had a vision in my head of what a black belt should be and all this stuff. But also, I used to run the streets, too. And I always said, well, if I'm a black belt, they're going to do this and this and that. Now, when I was certified as a trainer and decided to get into this fitness field, I was like, well, you know what? I might as well go and finish, because anybody that knows me, they know from the time I was probably younger than 10 years old when I started. So the time that I'm coming out the house, I'm kicking and punching and doing all types of stuff. That's all I do. Been doing it for 40 years straight.
Nice.
So for me to take that part serious, it's not like it was something new, but getting the actual belt and being like, this is on my resume.
Right.
It changed my shift.
I'm not going to lie. That's one of the reasons why I go to you, because people are like, oh my God, you go so far. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand all the certifications he has. Not just in that, not just that you're a gym owner, but then you're also nutrition and all that stuff. But at what points you get out, how did you fall into becoming, like, did you become a personal trainer first, do that, and then you were like, okay, I want to start my place?
So I'll back up a little bit. In the feds, you can, there's these books you can kind of look and see what every facility has. Unfortunately, they phase education out of a lot of facilities.
That's so sad.
Yeah, they phase. So I did a little bit of research, and at the time when it's time for me to get sentenced or whatever, I told the judge, I'm like, well, I was looking, this place is in my region. It's one of the last places that offers college. They have classes, blah, blah, blah,
Good
blah,
for
blah,
you.
blah. He said, I can't make any guarantees, but because what's crazy about the feds too, until you're in that plane, you don't know where the hell you're going, which is crazy.
Wow.
But they sent me to the spot Fairton, and I was able to take some classes. And I was one of the ones that actually got the personal trainer certification going inside there. I was like, well, I want to get, I ended up teaching class. I ended up teaching the class for people to get certified as trainers.
No way. In the Fed.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So that's really where your journey started.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, because I was teaching martial arts classes from 14 years old. So I always used to do that. And even like working out, people are always like, well, show me how to do this. Like my pops worked out forever. He showed me and my brother how to work out. So working out has been something that's always been in my life. And when I was down, I was like loosely writing business plans about different things that I was involved with, because I was on my business stuff before I went in.
Right.
So I was like, I really didn't think the gym thing was going to be the thing that I ended up doing, but I wrote business plans and things down that I had no idea how it was going to happen, but somehow, some way, all that stuff happened.
So you get out, and then do you have a job? Do you get a job with someone?
So, damn, it's so much. I was in the halfway house, so you have to go to the halfway house, right?
Okay.
I was in the halfway house. They require you to get a job. You met the guy, we won't say his name, but the crazy guy that I had to let go recently.
Oh, Cino. We'll call him Cino. Okay.
But he was actually the GM at the first gym. So in the halfway house, they're like, you got to go find a job or whatever. So they would let you out at certain hours, you go find a job. But I had this certification now. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Yeah. So that was for your benefit. Okay.
Yeah. So I went to this place that I ended up buying later.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love that story.
Yeah, I went in there and bought the place, and the person that hired me, I ended up hiring him.
And then you fired him. I remember. I've been part of this whole journey.
But I mean, it ain't like I fired him just for.
I know. But no. Okay, so you go there though. But did you? So when you go in your interview and they ask you, because that's a main question. Hey, do you have any?
Remember who we're talking about though,
right?
So
C note, by the way.
Yeah, I had another interview at the time, and when I came in, he's like, "You got perfect timing. We just let go of a trainer. We need a trainer." Blah, blah, blah. I said, "Well, I got another interview." I was like, "I'll let you know." I walked halfway down the street. I was like, you know what? Turned around. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So I started working. But
did he ask you? Did he even ask you about your background?
Oh, I told him that. I said, but I got to be honest with you. I have a record, right? He starts laughing. He calls up the maintenance guy, like, hey, Brian, come over here. He's like, he's worried about his record. They both start laughing. They said they both have records longer than whatever. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait. So, real quick. So if you want to try to start a business and you have some, and you did some bids, are you saying that the personal training thing is a little bit more lenient? It's like a field, easier, like.
It's not easy. Like I said, you have to be who you are. Like it's all of this comes down to mentality. I mean, you've been around me a little bit. Like it's a certain mentality you gotta have, and I'm just like I'm a get it type of person.
You're just that dude. Is that what you say?
Want it hard enough.
Not everybody can do it like you. Is that what you're saying?
No.
You have to be a go getter.
Okay, so
I don't want to sound arrogant.
No, but it is what it is. Nah, that's real. So you start doing this, and you're working there, blah blah blah, and then you're doing your thing, and then at what point does it become a dream now where you're like, yo, I can buy this shit?
So even when I was in a different life, like I was that person, even when I got jammed up, if I went on the block and you're doing X, Y, Z, I'll look and be like, well, the smarter way to do this is to do boom, boom, boom. We should do this. We should do this. Next thing you know, I'm taking some nickel and dime operation and I'm lifted it. It was the same when I was in the gym where I'm like, that's stupid. Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Well, if I was this, so, everybody will always tell you, I swear everybody probably thinks I'm a freaking idiot. Everybody says, oh, this person doesn't know what they're doing just because this. But the people that actually do it, who cares if you think I'm an idiot? I got the balls to actually do it. Mm-hmm. So everybody can always say this is a smart way to do it, or I would do it this way. But I was just like, well, you know what? I would do it this way. And then along the way, if I met a good trainer, good salesperson, I would keep numbers. I was always doing this. And like I said, I didn't even know. Like I wrote business plans for clothing. You're into clothing. I wrote stuff for clothing stores. I was doing real estate also. Like when I got on, I ended up buying a house. So hold on real quick.
Let's talk about real estate real quick. So you can have, and just some things. So you go to, you have obviously a felony on you. Are you allowed to vote?
Certain states you can.
Okay. And then you can get your real estate license?
I was just buying and selling.
Oh, so you was flipping. But you can't, what are the things that you can't do with a felony?
Supposedly, actually, I won't go too deeply. Even an SBA loan, supposedly, you're not supposed to be able to get with.
Wow. So they really kind of like just be like, fuck you.
But there's no such thing as no, man.
There's always a way. Yeah, there's always a way.
And a lot of the stuff that they tell us, like, they're like, oh, you're a felon, or like people just accept no too easily.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that.
There's another way. There has to be a way around.
By any means necessary, you can make it happen. Hey, listen, that's why ladies be loving the trap star.
Not for nothing. Even illegal pharmaceutical sales, which I mean, it's wrong, but that's a skill. That's a marketing skill.
Yeah,
within itself. So there's a lot you can do if you can sell drugs, move weight. Those are all skills.
If you are a successful drug dealer,
exactly,
you could be a successful businessman.
Absolutely,
and
1000%.
One thing that I realized: the money that I truly want in life, there's no way in hell I can get to selling drugs without like being America's Most Wanted or somebody trying to kill me. And it's a miracle that I've made it this far without like when I did that little bid for the 5 years, they were trying to give me 25 years. So, I mean, I would have still been there.
But you went in with a talent and a skill. See how you were in there doing business plans and all that?
They didn't give a damn. One thing the judge said to me, and I have to keep it real, he was on nose like this, because you try to paint the best picture of yourself when it's sentencing. So in the feds, you have your trial, you get found guilty or not guilty. I went to trial. Most people do not go to trial in the feds. I went to trial, found guilty. But then separately, you get your sentencing. So when it's time for the sentencing, you're like, oh, but Mr. Anderson was in college at this time. He
Character witnesses,
his parents and this and this and that. He was doing this and that. He even mentioned the martial arts stuff. Judge said, well, it seems to me that you start a lot of things and you don't follow through and finish them. He could have dropped the mic after that, like, poof.
They want to keep our black men in jail.
No, but I bet that lit a fire in your ass. Like, I bet you'll see. But okay, let me ask you this. This is going to be really like spicy because you don't want to get spicy with it. what was it like sex in there? Obviously, I know you didn't do with men, but like, wow, like, because I know for a fact in Atlanta, especially, that's why they have one of the highest HIV rates. Is a lot of men, especially when they go to jail, they be like, no, what I did in jail is what I did in jail.
They call them, they those that say gay for the stay.
Yeah, gay for the stay, right?
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it is. And then they come out and they end up giving women STDs because they don't want to tell women that they was getting their D sucked and it was fucking men.
I mean, if they're in a real prison, they're going to have hospitals and all that stuff, so they shouldn't be walking around with no STD. But
what? Yeah, how
all that stuff where like you see movies and people are getting raped and all that stuff. There's enough willing punks in there that
will just give it.
Yeah, you ain't got it.
Lady men, I heard, have a status in jail. Like they're respected. Like they don't get beat up. Like they're just in their own world.
No. We're going to listen to the guy who did the fact.
Well, now, you won't have certain things on the compound. Like, I remember one time, and it's bugged out because as you walk the yard, you know, you've seen nothing but dudes. But then this one person, this is the only time I actually saw something. There was mad gay people there. But every time I ever saw something with like titties and like long hair.
Like a trans?
Yeah.
In jail? Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that doesn't happen too often.
Wait, but so, okay, now let me ask you this. Did you feel like, because we're going to get into next about masturbation, right? And we're going to talk about just discipline with the body, right? Yeah. Do you feel like you being in jail and being a straight man at that, right? And just practicing martial arts, like, what did you do through those 5 years? Did you just like beat your meat? Or like,
I mean,
how did that go?
To be honest with you, like dudes get a lot of nudie magazines, Playboys and that going around the compound. But I'm not fronting at all. I wasn't on that time. I guess wasn't. Like, you know, I'm very disciplined and focused when I need to be. Before I went in, I was really like, I was on it before I went in. And then I had the luxury of knowing that I might go in. So I'm working out every day. I'm training. I'm this, I'm that. Cause I'm thinking, I'm going to jail. I might fight. I might this and that. So I'm like, I'm ready to shot when I got in there. And when I got in there, it was a bunch of soft people, even these so-called killers and all that. It's just not like that. But with the sex and masturbation, like I just didn't pass around the magazines and this and that. Now I'm human.
So you didn't even like basically entice yourself with the nudes or with that, or like you were like, no, I'm just not even gonna sit there and try to like lust or anything.
And
I
was heavy on my deen at the time too, when I was praying 5 times a day.
Oh, explain to people what hadeen is.
Deen is to put it as simple as it is your way of life you're living. Yeah,
okay. And are you in your Muslim?
Yes.
Okay. Have you always been, or is that something also too that was established more so in jail?
No, actually, God bless my mom's. Like she's always tried to put us up on game. So she gave us certain books to read. You know, things of that. Not even knowing the seeds that she planted, but like things like Message to the Black Man or Malcolm X biography or something like that. So there was an interest. And there was a time when I was younger when I did a little bit, and I don't know if you guys know about 5%ers and things like that. So 5%ers is like Nation of Islam, and they talk all this stuff about mathematics, this and that, which is very interesting, but they always make this reference back to Islam. So me just wanted to know what the real deal was. I kind of like did my own research. So I made my decision of what I thought was the more practical religion, but I'm still living a certain life where I'm like, you know, I believe this, but even now, like I don't like to run around and say I'm this or that because people expect you to walk a certain walk. Oh, you said you're this. Why are you doing that? Why are you looking at that girl's ass? Why? I'm like, I'm trying to be right. I'm not, I'm not perfect.
Oh, but salute to that. He said, I'm trying to be right. I'm not perfect. Those are words to live by.
I mean, in Islam, they said if Allah's creation was perfect, there'd be no reason for your repentance. And He wants your repentance, and He wants you to repent.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, amen to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, go ahead.
Yeah, so back to the masturbation thing. Like, don't think that in 5 years I didn't have to let go one or something. But yeah, like,
was it the third year? You were like, that's it. I need a really good.
anything in life, moderation is the key, right? I had a couple of guys that, you know, friends. We used to have a joke with this one guy, like, yo, leave it alone, dog. Because this dude stayed.
Beating his shit?
Stayed like all the fucking time. Like, what's wrong with you? He actually got kicked off the compound because they call it gunning down, where he was.
They do that.
I
used to pass out meds, and that's like the minute they see the nurses come on the unit, they would just go to work. Yeah, I would just ignore them. Like,
oh my God, that's so crazy.
So you already know what it is. Yeah. Oh, you probably came in there smelling good, looking good.
No, I would not give meds, and they had the rooms with 4 beds.
When
during COVID, we had to go inside.
Imagine you don't want your meds. Something as small as you smell good, right? Not
Thank
smelling
you.
That would trigger.
What? What? A girl goes on. It literally hits your nose like the cartoons. You'll be like, "What? You'll stop."
Yeah, but that's the real thing. It's called pheromones. That's a real thing. Like that's women, and that's why too. Another thing, men don't really Women don't really know this and men don't really know this, but it's a fact that when a woman's right about to get her menstrual cycle, she's actually more desired by men because they can just, their pheromones subconsciously, they don't even know. They can just sense.
When men work out,
that's
like,
probably the most
the smell of the man after they work out, their pheromones is like, oh, come here. But they're like, oh, I'm dirty. Don't touch me. But I'm like, come here. I like it.
Not me. You need to wash that penis.
I don't know. I like it. I mean,
you go.
If he's a clean man, he doesn't
things
smell.
That I didn't realize when now you know how the stigma of trainers and they be having the women and this and that.
Yeah.
Think about this, right? When you work out, you release the
pheromones.
Right?
Oh, so you've had instances where you're training women and
I'm analytic. I analyze everything. So when are you ever, besides your doctor, when are you ever in close proximity to somebody like that where they're able to touch you and be like, "Here,
that's
move
true.
This,
being a male trainer,
and at the same time, your everything is at heightened because you're working out. Yeah. So that leads to.
So that's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
So that mean, well, and shout out to you. I can attest to your professionalism, honestly, because even we were talking about the other day about stretching, and you were teaching your other trainer, this is the proper way to stretch, right? Because I had like a lower back issue and he was stretching me out and he was like telling his other trainer, like, look, this is the proper way, you know? Yeah. So, and that's another reason too, people are like, oh my God, you drive so far, but I go because I know that he holds his level high for professionalism at that too. And that's important for women to feel safe. Like, hello, I'm trying to get my body right. And you're seeing all my cracks, my ass, my titties, you're seeing it all. So it's important that you have, if you're going to have a male trainer, ladies, make sure that he's professional. Because I be seeing sometimes online on IG, some of these like just greasy, slimy dudes. And I'm like, yo,
but the women too, to have self-control. Because my trainer, he's married. Well, in Washington, he told me that women will kind of make a move on him, and he was like, hey, I'm married. So women as well, like single. Just because he's putting hands on you, don't go for it.
To keep it a buck, I'm probably literally between doing classes and one-on-one, I've probably trained freaking 1,000 people. So I mean, out of 1,000, it might be
some women that are hot to trot.
Well, I mean, I've had a couple of exes that that like I messed with like that I've met through that. So I mean, it happens, but I've never had a messy situation ever.
That's good.
Good for you. Knock on wood.
So now that we talked about federal masturbation, right?
Masturbation.
So one of the reasons too I really wanted to bring him here is because we just talk about, obviously me, I just like blah blah blah. He's like my relationship guy. I always ask him advice, right? We talk about everything.
Yeah, when you're a trainer, you have to double as a therapist.
Yeah, you're like so. But he has this amazing book that called is it Tao or Tao?
It's more of a deep pronunciation. Tao.
The Tao of health, sex, and longevity, right? But we talk about this, and I wanted, because if I say it or she says it, if we're like, guys, don't masturbate, right? We sound like haters. If we're like, don't watch porn, we sound like we're hating on you. So I wanted to have him come here because he's a man and he's going to explain to you. But right here, I think this is really great. And we talked about age, about masturbation. So right here it says, by the time they reach 30, men should entirely give up the self-defeating habit and start conserving semen exclusivity for intercourse with women. Men who continue masturbating habitually into their 30s, 40s, or 50s rob themselves of every essence of energy to fuel their lives and protect their health. But Women, on the contrary, can masturbate all you want.
All you
so,
want.
you know what I'm saying?
I feel like
Send the
women should
video.
retain as well. I started retaining. I just started learning about retaining.
Yeah.
So in saying that, okay. So what do you think, like, because I know it's a thing for athletes, right? They tell basketball players, they tell soccer players, they tell boxers
experienced
especially,
it, yeah.
they say, don't have sex, don't masturbate. Now you being like in your 40s and you're still single, right? And whatever, and like you're dating, right?
Yeah.
Like, how is it for you? And like, how do you think it just heightens your career and just overall self to have that type of self-control? And what advice would you give men? Like, how do they stop that habit?
Think about the most fragile, precious thing is the male ego, right? And as men, what do we want to be? We want to be strong. We want to have our vitality, right? So as you get older, if you want to preserve your strength and vitality, don't masturbate. It's as simple as that.
But how about having exchange of sex with multiple women? Is that the same thing? Or like, so meaning like, what's the difference between masturbating and then a man just constantly having sex all the time with just say different women? Is he still expanding the same type of energy, or is it because we talked about in this book is the yin and the yang exchange?
So with in reference to the book, with the yin and yang, it's the balance of energy. Man has I forget if man has yin and a woman has yang, but there's a balance of energy there. So when a man and woman come together sexually, there's an exchange of energy. So there's a balance that happens, right? But with men, when we excrete, even when we're with a woman, you're still releasing more than you're getting back, but you're getting something back. Now, if you're masturbating, you're just releasing and you're not getting anything back.
You're not getting hugs, you're not getting love, you're not getting nurture, you're not getting any of that divine
but we get
woman.
oxytocin from you guys, so we are benefiting from something.
Yes, it's like a plant in a human. Oxygen and carbon monoxide, like we have to benefit from each other's energy. There's actually meditative stances you can do with a man and a woman when you kind of stand back to back and exchange each other's energy.
Yeah.
We talked about that earlier today about even breathing.
Yeah. don't let out the secrets.
No. But the thing
let me say homosexual activity. I mean, depending on your religion or your stance in life, that shouldn't happen anyways. But an energy exchange, you can't excrete energy and expect to get that energy back.
Yeah, man on
man.
Because
there's no balance in those energies there. So a man and a man is not going to prolong life. Whatever you do, your sexual preference is your sexual preference. But if you're talking about energy and longevity, then it's not going to mesh out for you. So
I'm sure you have some friends, right? And like, they're just like,
one or two,
whatever, right? And so what are suggestions for men? Because like, I know a couple of guy friends, you know a few, we have a mutual friend, right? And they're just addicted to jerking off, right? So do you think like going to the gym better? Do you think like finding a hobby? What are the things that you think that they can do to really, and also let's talk about too, and the next thing also too, it says here in the book about, it also weakens their knees, their body, their limbs, and stuff like that.
It kills brain cells when you.
I mean,
release
in life, in anything. I mean, moderation. So if you're abusing anything and you don't have control over that thing, you should probably try to get control over it. Because I mean, even if what's good for you? Water's good for you. Drinking too much water can poison you.
That's true.
Right? So, I mean, if you have a problem, you have to get up and masturbate every goddamn day, then there's some type of psychological issue coming.
So then you're saying like therapy.
Yeah, therapy or something.
Meditation.
Yeah. But somebody like that is health and longevity and consciousness on their mind anyways. Do they even care?
Watch less porn stimulation, high
when
expectations of sex.
Yeah, when you're about your shit, you don't have a lot of time for the extracurricular activity. You know? If you about your health, you're going to get some free time. I'm going to go work out, you know? I got this business plan to work on. I got to be at work. I got to do this. Like me, like I'm not a big drinker. And it wasn't like, I have alcoholism history in my family. It wasn't even because of that. It's because I used to have to get up and I didn't like how I felt in the morning because I'm trying to handle business. So I wasn't like, I'm going to stop drinking. It's just like, I can't drink tonight. I got to get up in the morning. I can't drink tonight. I got to get up in the morning. It's a lot of me getting up early.
Because that is a habit. What you're saying is it's an addiction. So porn and masturbation is an addiction. So
I believe so too.
So fellas, again, like I wanted to really talk about this because again, I feel like if Tina and I were saying, guys, you guys shouldn't masturbate and watch porn, we sound like man haters. So I wanted to
just because they can masturbate every day and not be affected by it, but that's
I mean, don't hate. But so that's why I wanted to now we're gonna talk about products, right? So we talked about fellas, y'all need to stop doing this too.
Wait. Go ahead. Let me give your take on it because I never said nobody needs to stop.
Gas station products? Come on. You know that's not good for your health. So you can go to the gas station. You know how you can buy those little bottles and it'll help get your dick hard and all that. Yes. So those things are so bad for your heart and it's bad for your health. And I wanted to talk to you about it because also too, and what I love about Dwayne, honestly, he is just so amazing. Not only did he bring this amazing book, it's called The Tao of Health and Sex and Longevity by Daniel P. Reed. So Amazon that. And then he also bought Health with Whole Foods, right? So we're going to talk about what things that you men can do to enhance your erection without taking these gas station bullshit, right? But what is your take on Viagra? What is your take on gas station things? As someone in fitness and men's health.
With the gas station pills, so you call them. I don't know enough about the ingredients inside those particular ones, but I do know that enhancements has something that's been around since the beginning of time. It's forever. And I think it's part of the culture. I mean, think about what's the Destiny Child? Break me up, show me.
No, that's not Missy Elliott. Oh, I don't want no 1 minute man.
Yeah, right? That's the whole culture.
Well, we got to play that. We got to drop that one little note on Missy.
Man or woman doesn't want nobody that's not strong sexually, and the man doesn't want to be viewed as somebody that's not strong sexually. So there's a lot of pressure in that arena for guys too. So
it's again ego.
Yeah, and it is an ego because look, at the same time you're like, guys, don't touch those gas station pills. But if some guy comes through and he gives you the 2-minute job, you're gonna be calling your girl like, girl, guess what? This nigga.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really mess with anybody who's not athletically fit. Honestly,
that does not matter.
I don't know because anybody I've been with,
how you know?
I'd be like, enough.
Now check this out. But you probably just can't take it.
Listen, I never been with nobody for 2 minutes. I would honestly feel sometimes I'd be like, you're fired forever. I think I might block somebody.
Case and point. She's talking about blocking a poor person.
I'm more foreplay than the penetration. I love a good foreplay. Foreplay me, and the rest is like whatever. But
oh no, I need deep strokes.
I'm all about
honey, you can just foreplay me and
leave me. Feel like a pillow princess queen.
I've been equipped with both. No, but look, the gas station ones, I don't know how good they are, but think about natural things. Like I remember back in the days when I was first starting to have sex, they used to have the little bottles of ginseng.
The ginseng root.
I'm just trying to be like my brother. My brother, hey, he's taking ginseng. I'm going to take some ginseng. I didn't even know it was for sex, but I did notice that, okay, when you had sex, the ginseng. So it's something that's forever. Yeah, like even right now, you could call it cheating or whatever. I know we talked about the beet juice.
Yeah, okay, real quick, guys. He has this whole remedy. It's organic, it's natural, and it's good for you, and it's going to help you have an ejaculation. Yes. So he's going to help you, fellas. I hope you guys are writing down with pen and paper.
Giving it all up. I can tell you in general. Well, I'll tell you. You can take a shot of beet juice and it'll have the same effect.
All right then. Yeah. So if you guys would like to have a better erection, so you know how we say, fellas, we want you guys to eat pineapples. You know why? Because if you want us to swallow your semen, you better taste good. Because we don't need to be having all that garlic or McDonald's semen. I want to have some pineapple semen. You know what I mean? So beet juice. Tell us what beet juice does.
All right, so the beet juice, me and my friends have a little joke. We call it beet juice because you beat it up.
You beat the church up.
An erection, a man gets an erection because of nitric oxide, blood flow, right?
Okay.
Beet juice is a natural nitric oxide booster. Right? So when you take the beet juice, and I take it as a pre-workout. Sometimes it gives you mad energy. The veins, everything is dilated, but blood is also going to the extremities.
Is this good for women as well?
No, not
I
for.
have a remedy for women.
What is that?
What is it?
It's orange juice, clove, and honey.
Oh yeah.
To give you what, like make you
I bet
more
you-
wet or make you more horny?
Yeah.
Really? I don't know if I should
I
be
have to do
taking
my
any of that
research.
because I'm already there.
It's an old Caribbean secret.
Yeah?
Yeah. But
Where
it
you
has to be
from?
warm. Honduras, where Dr. Sebi was. So I
Honduras?
have my own little
Honduras?
secrets. Yes, Honduras. So you warm up some honey, you put orange, and you mash cloves, and then you strain it. You take 2 spoons of it.
Wait, how do you do the orange, Joe? Do you
And
squeeze the
often do you-
orange?
Squeeze it.
And how often do you take it?
Right before.
Okay.
Really?
So yeah. It's an old remedy.
Okay. So,
So if
ladies,
we
y'all
come in the
taking
room and you
notes?
smelling cloves and honey. You know?
You know what time it is. He's like, ooh, I'm about to get that
It
good
works
sticky
really, really
icky. Okay. So, all right. So now this is something anyone can make, right? Oh,
Well, so
speaking wait, Ocho Cinco, I just saw with him and Shannon Sharp. Did you see that?
that's
interview?
a perfect example.
What did he
But
say?
So he said Ocho Cinco, he was like, what he said when he used to play, he used to take half of Viagra, he said, right? When he used to play. And he said, and then a Red Bull. And he said that because his testosterone now was on fucking trill. And he said that it gave him the upper, like he was just like going and going hard. So he was taking that just to have that extra edge and
coulda
take
get
it out
some
on
beet
players.
To
juice.
slow him down.
No, not to slow him down because it was creating more testosterone. So what he was doing is he was beasting on the field. So he was taking it obviously not to have sex. He was taking it to give him that extra like edge. And I was like, wow, that's fascinating. He was taking a half of
Did you
Viagra.
see what Shannon said when he was like, he popped the Viagra, right? And he said he went the first time to deal with chick, put it down.
Oh yeah.
Second time, he thought he put it down, but didn't have the Viagra. Third time, she said, bring that dick you had the first time back with you. So,
Viagra is actually it's a blood pressure medication. That's how it was discovered. It was in trial as a blood pressure medication. And then when they did the research, they said, can I have the medication back? And the men were like, no, we don't want to give it back. That's why when you're in an airplane, someone's having a heart attack, they'll ask, anyone has Viagra?
No
Really?
way.
Yeah.
By the way, we have RN here. So, right? Registered nurse. So, see?
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's a funny story how Viagra was developed.
That's
Wow,
crazy.
that's fascinating. Okay, so we have that. So what do you like? How do you like? Okay.
How do I stay hard?
No. The question I want to ask now is like, are you into one night stands now or do you have to have a connection with women? Like, what's your situation like dating and like, as far as like, can you just get hard no matter what? Or is it now more so just not sexual? Like, do you get turned off real easily? Like, meaning you see a fly chick, right? You out, whatever, right? Are you able just to like now just have sex, or are you at the point where you did that in your 20s and 30s, and now are you more so into like a connection?
I'm past the years. You know, when you're young, like teenage, early 20s, we literally as men, we just be trying to see how many chicks we can get. Like you can get like one every day. Like you're the man. You're this and that. And I can't speak for everybody. I mean, the older I get, I mean, I'm still human. I love women. Women are beautiful, but one night stands. Not a whole lot of that going on.
Yeah.
I'm not really like, I'd rather have a connection, but it's not to say that you can't maybe have a connection and start speaking to somebody and maybe something happens. It hasn't happened. Those things don't happen a whole lot in my life these days, but I don't hold it against anybody.
So
I feel you can have a connection.
For the ladies, are you single?
I date. I'm single.
Oh, and now back to dating. Are you honest with women and tell them, because we had our boy
think
Jimmy
I'm
the
too
Florist.
honest.
So you tell them you're dating other women.
I think I'm too honest. I think I've missed out by being honest when I should.
So you do tell them.
Yeah, I try to keep it real. I don't have
most
no
women
time
like the honesty. Like most women are casually dating too.
Yeah.
When it becomes physical, then they have to have the safe sex conversation.
Yeah.
But if you're dating, that's like you're getting to know people and stuff.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So what advice would you give out there for your top 5 red flags for women?
Top 5 red flags.
The list. We should have brought the list.
What is your top 5 for you now? And where you're at, you're an entrepreneur. You have real estate. You have so much going on for yourself. And now, what is your top 5 list for women that yes I want, and top 5 you're like, oh bitch, you ain't making it past first round. That's it.
I think we had this conversation. Nowadays, the conversation's a little bit different when it's a first date or if we're hanging out. Like, if I'm interested in more than smashing, I may be asking things about, like, why did you break up? What was your last relationship? Or, like, when you're upset, like, how do you deal with conflict? Like, how do you, like, those
are deep questions.
Yeah. I mean, some people could be...
I like the second one, not the first one. I hate when we're talking about the exes on the first date. That would be a red flag for me.
Really?
I don't like to talk about, like, our past. Like, focus on me and where we are now.
It depends on where the conversation goes. I'm very good at, like... this back and forth banter. So if the openness isn't there, but there's certain things that are non-negotiables where I'm like, okay, what is you don't have to be like me as far as being a gym owner and working out every day and this and that, but health has to be on your conscience.
Yeah, that's true.
How do you treat people? That's very important. Yeah.
Do you date women with kids?
At my age, it's hard not to find somebody that
has kids. Okay.
Yeah. Damn, I guess I had another one I was about to say that was important. I forgot it that quick.
Credit.
How you deal with anger.
Credit. Yes, I knew it. I know you. Credit.
Yes.
Credit's important.
How do you, are you good with money? Are you financially responsible? That's very important.
That's a huge thing, yeah.
Huge.
But that's kind of heavy on a first date, don't you think?
No, not at all. Like, you don't have to get into it to the point where you're like grilling somebody, but just see with it. Like, our reaction just now, casual. Like, yeah, seriously, that's all I need to see. It's like, like it's on your radar. Some people don't even give a fuck with credit score. Fuck's credit score. Like, you know?
That's true.
Like, do you want to turn up all the time? Like, are you?
Let me ask you this. Have you gone to therapy for some of the things? Because you and I often talk about post PTSD. Have you gone to therapy, or do you feel like because you do martial arts, like in meditation, all those things have helped you deal with your PTSD? Do you think that therapy would be beneficial for you, or? I
am not a person that has a problem with people going to therapy. I think people should go to therapy. There's a stigma in the Black community about going to therapy. That's right. I'm all for it. All for it. I haven't had the opportunity, and I would, and I thought about it, to be able to speak about some of the past traumas. Right. Because our past affects the way we move now. I have friends now that still, if they call a place in a restaurant and leave a name, they're not leaving their real name. It's just old habits die hard. You know, we ain't doing shit anymore. We freaking damn near 50 years old, all of us. Some of us are 50, over 50. We still leaving aliases. I still won't sit with my back to the door if I go in any place or anything like that. So certain habits die hard, but certain things now where I'm just like, I'm not going somewhere. Because, you know, when you got beef, I'm not going here, or I'm not doing, I don't give a fuck these days. I'm just like,
So, but do you think dealing with your PTSD and dealing with your traumas and the things you went through in the streets, you know, and just the things that you saw and killings and shootings and jail, do you think that martial arts for sure has helped you? And like, what are some of your things? And that maybe some men are just scared to go to therapy, right? And some men, let's say, can't afford it, their insurance or something. What are some tips that you would like to give men, especially Black men, to try to heal themselves?
Don't try to heal yourself. Get a therapist. Seek professional help.
Great.
There is, if you could get to the point where you could meditate, but I think it's harder to tell somebody to meditate than it is to go to a therapist. Mm-hmm. You know, but there is a place inside of you that only meditation can bring you to. You know, when you're sleeping at night, that's probably the most peaceful time that you have. Mm-hmm. You can do that while you're wide awake when you meditate. So you can find that place within inside of you where it's that peaceful, that inner sanctity. But I don't think that people should try to use that as their therapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
now me, I can do it because I'm, you know, I received something called knowledge, which is the highest level of meditation. And it's one of the requirements when I got my black belt that we had to have knowledge. So I have that and I'm able to use it, but
explain that to people real quick. Knowledge. So you do karate and then you get to the level of black belt. And in order for you to get your black belt, you're saying you have to now get knowledge. What does that mean?
This isn't every form of martial arts, but my instructor, amazing guy. This guy, he has a black belt in 6 different martial arts. He has his doctorate in education.
Wow.
He was special ops in Nicaragua. Like he's serious. He lived in the Shaolin Temple. Like his coach was the last fighting monk that was in the Shaolin Temple. Like he's legit. Been on the Olympic wrestling team, but it's a requirement of him and his system because a lot of stuff that we're learning, and not to sugarcoat it at all, like it's lethal. You can break somebody's arm, break somebody's neck. You can do this and that. I don't do. And this is no slight at MMA because MMA, there's some bad cats in MMA. But what we do is aim for competition. It's for streets, for survival. So I can't have you not be able to bring that in and have it under control. If I fuck you up, it's going to be a matter of business, not a matter of my emotions getting the best of me. Because if my emotions get the best of me with the level of things that I know, then I could hurt you and I could go to jail for the rest of my life. So the meditation keeps that.
So basically, the knowledge part is, okay, you know all these skills, like 99 ways to kill somebody. Mm-hmm. And because you are at the highest elite level of killing, your whole body is literally a machine to kill somebody. Now I need you to learn how to hone this and make sure that your aggression doesn't come out and that's why it's called knowledge. Well, so it's like really about self-control.
I don't know the whole ideology behind them picking the name knowledge or why it was that. I just know that that's what it was. And like I said, this is different systems. Like we train in Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu, karate, all these different things. But this small portion, the meditation that we got, isn't from one of our karate systems. It's strictly from Prem Ra, I believe. He gets it from him, and this is what we study.
Okay, yeah. So before we close out, could you do us could we do a basic, like for the people, we don't know how to meditate. I remember you and I practiced. We did something like this. Can you show us? This is nice. Yeah, can we do like a meditation?
All right. I can't show you the postures of knowledge because...
That's fine.
Yeah. But just meditation, if somebody's having difficulty trying to meditate, the best thing to focus on is the breath. The breathing.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So how do we do?
I've had you done this when you're working on the stuff when you're like, I'm like, oh, stop.
Yo, I don't like the shade. Okay, public display.
Stop. But all you're doing when you breathe in through your nose, And another big thing, You have a daughter. Do you have children?
No.
No. So you notice when your babies, their stomachs rise when they breathe.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
That's deep breathing. When we get older, if I tell you to take a deep breath, look, your chest gets rose. That's shallow. This is deep. Right. So most people now, when we're older, we're like, and the chest gets bigger. So what you should do is try to breathe from here. Umbilical cord, belly button is where the life comes from. So your breath should come from there when you breathe in. And your stomach should expand like a balloon. So you inhale through your nose and the stomach expands. And when you breathe out, you exhale like you're fogging the window. Don't blow out like it's that way.
Okay.
Amazing.
And how many times, like, so a lot of working professionals, a lot of mothers, just a lot of people, how many times a day should we practice deep breath work and like the state of meditation?
I mean, deep breaths, you should take them as many times and as often as you can. It prolongs your life. So if I have it's a great habit, but as soon as I walk out of the door, most of the time, anytime, I'm like, as soon as I walk out the door, I'm like, I take a nice deep breath because I'm in here and this and that. Like when I walk out this door, I'm going to take a deep breath when I go outside.
Okay.
But just being able to sit in silence for minutes at a time.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love quietness, silence.
Yeah, and
it's healing for me.
And like I don't want to front and perpetrate like I'm this freaking monk that's like no, I have my issues. Like I fall asleep sometimes with the damn TV on. When is your brain getting a rest? You go from using the phone, you leave the TV on, fall asleep, wake up, you're back on the phone. Like when do you deliberately sit your ass down, stop everything, be like, I'm going to be quiet for 10 minutes.
People take offense to that. Growing up, silence was a big thing. Yeah. And just like unplugging from everything. And growing up, a lot of people were like, why are you so quiet? But it was my form of healing. Yes. Like I would always need a moment to be quiet, no TV on. And as I grew up, that was a form of my healing. Yeah. And I always have to tell people, I'm going to go be silent right now. Don't disrupt me. Give me my time.
It's also a great way to solve problems.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because think about this. If you're trying to keep up with the speed of thought is like this. You can't keep up with it. And you got a million thoughts coming at
stimulation.
You. So how are you going to distinct from what you're trying to really figure out versus all these things that are coming at you, where you can just sit down, be quiet, and the answers will come to you.
And you know what? Just you speaking like that, I just remember raising my daughter and her being a baby. And God bless mothers, honestly. I just don't know when they have the time. Because I just remember my daughter following me everywhere. I remember one time slamming in the bathroom because I'm like, I need a fucking break.
That postpartum depression.
No, it's not even postpartum. It was like 10, bitch. I remember I was driving with my daughter and after being with her all day, I'm like, Chanel, I need you to go in the house. And I would have to take a drive just so I could be by myself. Man. So even like I think about this, like God bless mothers, honestly, and I know because I've been there. Like, you know, we talk about breath work and you talk about how important and beautiful it is for you, right? But you're not a mother yet and you're not even get that time because your kids are on you like vultures, like, and they don't understand.
Yeah.
And then your man's on you and you're like, oh my God, I just need a minute to breathe.
At my age now that I don't have any kids and all, I'm like, yo, like,
you're like, I don't think I want to do it.
Yeah, I always say I want kids, and my friends are like, "Yeah, you sure?" I'm like, "Oh." Then I'm like, maybe not, because like I love more than anything. I go home right now, my dog, I can tell him go lay in the corner and shut up and be quiet, and he'll do exactly what I tell him, and I don't have to hear anybody.
That's my fear. I love quiet time. Yeah. I want kids. I definitely want kids, but I'm afraid of letting go of that quiet time because quiet time is healing.
Man, I love my vacations.
I know. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Nice
okay. So for the people, real quick, can you give us your address, where your location of your gym is, and hours, and how can they reach you?
Life HFC, H as in health, F as in fitness, C as in center. Quincy.com. All the information that you need will be there. LifeHFCQuincy.com. And you can get the address, get the hours, all that stuff.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. And one more last thing with that, you also offer nutrition plans?
Every program that we have, whether it's one-on-one training, small group training, whatever, everything comes with a meal plan. Mm-hmm. We do Fit 3D body scan.
Yep.
When's the last time you did?
I know. I need to do that.
Yeah,
and then also too, one more thing, because they were speaking earlier for Tina, for people who travel a lot, he also does mobile.
Yeah, I mean the one thing, talk about the business a little bit. It's an all-encompassing business, and the process is very detailed. From the screening, when you first come in, to kind of figure out where you are physically, what your goals are. We take you through a fitness test. We take you through a functional range of motion test. Body composition testing, Fit 3D body scan, which takes your measurements. It tells you if you're off balance. We do all that, and then we write a prescription, like a doctor would write a prescription and say, this is the program that you should do, and then we match it to you. So it's very detailed.
That's amazing.
And we get results. I had something thrown into my lap. If I would have known this earlier, I might not even been able to come. But I have to write this thing up. And I was just going through some of the people. I'm like, damn, we actually helped a lot of people. Like, seriously drop serious weight and body fat, changing people's lives. And that's dope. It's like, even,
yeah, how fulfilling is that you're really helping people heal with their health, mind, body, and soul.
Yeah, being in business can suck sometimes, because, it gets rough as an entrepreneur at times. And people suck. People is what make it suck more than anything. But those times when you sit back and you be like, well, damn, this person lost 50 pounds. And when people come and be like, yo, thank you so much, you helped me, then it is very rewarding. It is. And I can't wait so I can start working with the kids again. The kids are really the dope ones. Like, they're rewarding.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Starting them young.
Yeah, we do martial arts classes for kids now too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so mothers, you want to just get your kids away so you can do some deep breath work. You know what I mean? Well, thank you so much, Dwayne. Thank you.
For having
Thank
me.
you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.